My first impressions of World of Warcraft Dragonflight.
That's right. Dragonlands. The new World of Warcraft expansion.
It's called Dragonflight.
Actually, I think it was called Dragonflight.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nixxiom, and today we're going to be talking about World of Warcraft's newest expansion, Dragonflight. If you have not seen the cinematic for it, if you have not seen just the entirety of the announcements, I'm going to be talking about them one by one in this video. If you would like to see my full reaction live to all the announcements, you can check that out over on the Nixxiom Highlights channel. But this is a quick, down and dirty synopsis of my thoughts on this expansion and what Blizzard is bringing to the table with the future of World of Warcraft. But first, as always, gotta thank the sponsor. Get that out of the way real fast. Here we go. Today's video was sponsored by my storefront over on Amazon. If you want to check out the gear that I use for YouTube, for Twitch streaming, or if you'd like to see some of the stuff that I recommend for new YouTubers or new Twitch streamers, click the link down in the description below.
You know what my suggestion is to like new streamers? Like, yeah, equipment does matter, but you don't need to overdo it at the beginning. Like, to be honest, like while I was like streaming and stuff and making content on YouTube, I've upgraded my gear a couple of times because after a while stuff gets outdated anyway. Like, let's say you're active for 3-4 years, then you definitely will need eventually to upgrade some stuff. So yeah, but hey, there's some good stuff here. I think the prices are okay, so yeah, that's not too bad. Good for starters.
YouTubers or new Twitch streamers, click the link down in the description below. And that's it. Expectations versus reality. Now, before this expansion came out, there were a lot of leaks about what this expansion could be.
And they were correct.
Dragons. And honestly, I've talked about this on my other channel, but I was very excited for this, to keep it simple. In summary, for me personally, I'm not a big fan of going to other dimensions or breaking reality or any of that crap. I liked the idea of just going on an adventure and killing a dragon. So when the leaks were coming out about Dragonlands or Dragonflight or Dragon something, we didn't know what it was going to be called.
I was super hyped.
This idea of a more down-to-earth Azerothian expansion really excited me. It kind of gave me a little bit of those classic WoW vibes. That's
the same way I felt when I heard it, like, and when we went through the leaks, and I'm actually surprised that the leaks were so close to like what actually was their plan. First, like, the leaks were Dragon Isles, right? And then they named it Dragonflight, and it was basically pretty much the same, because in the leaks they talked about a playable dragon race, right? And funny was, there was actually a freaking playable race revealed that is a dragon. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, how accurate the leak was. So we were actually pretty correct with our expectations and stuff. And yeah, by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content.
Talk about class skins and some more classes being added to the game that all had a single spec. Things like Tinkers, Necromancers, Minstrels, and this was honestly something I was very, very excited for. It seemed like they were really going back to the roots of World of Warcraft and what made the game exciting as a fantasy universe of just getting lost as an adventurer, fighting dragons, fighting monsters, climbing mountains, and these leaks, you saw them, I saw them, I actually believed all of it. I actually got to the point where I was like, this is the next WoW expansion. Obviously, it wasn't. It's the reality side of this point, but I was very, excited might be a strong word, but I was optimistic for this potential dragon expansion even before the announcement. But now we officially know what is coming. World of Warcraft Dragonflight.
What the heck? But that's literally how you do this in freaking Classic. Like, you have to freaking fight NPCs one by one, and you're like almost dying to like a single NPC. The Classic experience, OMG. Like, I remember when we were like streaming on Twitch some WoW Classic, how long we actually took to take down stuff. Like, yeah, level 15, of course, it's like that. Holy shit. It's actually interesting, the expectations versus reality, how close they came, at least on my side, like with Dragonflight and stuff. And I think it's actually good that they have now finally an expansion that's back on Azeroth. I was actually a little bit disappointed with Shadowlands from a lore perspective, because I prefer in fantasy games to keep the afterlife as as much of a secret as possible, because this gives the players the freedom to imagine how the afterlife could be in a fantasy world that they are in, right? So I feel like it's not so good in MMOs to add some sort of afterlife zone. I think that actually ruins the fantasy, in my opinion. So I'm actually glad that they're not even going like further that route and next dimensions, this and that. And to be honest, I prefer an expansion that's on Azeroth than the Void. Like I already said previously that I think it would be also cool if we go to some sort of Void world and this would be an expansion. And it's definitely going to be fun. But I think Dragonflight and that it takes place at the Dragon Isles, I think this is even more cool than that. So we got like a really good expansion coming. That's really nice. I think this will definitely improve World of Warcraft.
Now we officially know what is coming, World of Warcraft Dragonflight, and let's talk about that, shall we? Let's talk about that in detail, in order. The Island of the Dragons. The first thing to talk about when it comes to World of Warcraft Dragonflight is, of course, the Dragon Isles that have been revealed to us. Now I just want to get something out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way. Yes. All right. You're right. You're 100% correct. It looks like How to Train Your Dragon. All right.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Denying that.
Like the movie.
Miss of Pandaria looks like Kung Fu Panda. This is How to Train Your Dragon. Okay.
Yeah.
We know. You don't gotta comment it. All right.
They're inspired by it, maybe.
The zones look absolutely gorgeous here on the Dragon Isles. You've got this volcanic area. You've got the plains with the roaming centaur. You've got these ancient cities and stuff. And of course, you've even got a snow zone / big redwood forest zone.
What's like interesting here is like a lot of the zones, like this one here, like this zone, for example, and wait, where was this one with the forest? There's like one I really like. Let me find that. Holy shit. Okay, let's just replay it. I will pause.
Of course, you've even got
this zone here. You guys see that? Like this gives me Grizzly Hills vibes somehow, right? Like this, like some of the zones look like Wrath of the Lich King, but just more modern. So it's kind of like if Wrath of the Lich King was released on in a later year or something like that. Like that's the vibes I'm getting from looking at those zones, and I love it because Wrath of the Lich King is my favorite WoW expansion, and that now an expansion comes out that gives me some memories of this expansion, but from a more modern and newer perspective, I think that is so great. I love it.
Snow zone / big redwood forest zone inspired by Grizzly Hills. Now, I love Grizzly Hills from Wrath of the Lich King.
I love it so much.
I do. Fantastic.
Great leveling experience.
So seeing this just was like, oh, like it looked incredible. The snow, the trees, all of it. And the best part. The best part, you know it, you thought about my name when you saw him pop up in this expansion. The Tuskarr. The Tuskarr are officially back in World of Warcraft. After all these years, we're finally getting to see a continuation of the glory that is the Tuskarr.
The Tuskarr, they actually have a potential to be a playable race because they are really, really smart and stuff, right? Like they can speak. They look like one is even fishing here. Like they are not stupid. They are a smart race. And what like Blizzard likes to do is if there are any races in game that are like smart, like Dark Iron Dwarfs, for example, like the Zandalari trolls and stuff. Like if there's any smart race, they like to make them as a playable race. Now Tuskarr, I think they could fit into the Alliance. It could even be for Horde. Let's see. And I'm not sure about the Centaur, about the Gnolls and stuff, but there are some other races that could make it as a playable race by intelligence, actually. Let's see what else could be a playable race. I think we'll soon find out. And I'm pretty sure we'll get, with another expansion or with a new patch, another playable race. Maybe for both factions, or the Tuskarr will be sort of like the Pandaren, or let's see.
Seeing this just was like, oh, like it looked incredible. The snow, the trees, all of it. And the best part, you know it, you thought about my name when you saw him pop up in this expansion. The Tuskarr. The Tuskarr are officially back in World of Warcraft. After all these years, we're finally getting to see a continuation of the glory that is the Tuskarr. Tuskarr females, Tuskarr children. Incredible. I love it.
Favorite race?
I love the Tuskarr. Okay, Cheshkalashka, bitch. In conclusion,
he's really into the
zones look very pretty, and I like Tuskarr.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
A new race, a new class. This
Better
one
than
is
Cotillion.
slightly disappointing for me, I have to admit, this new dragon race and class combo. And I'll explain to you why. First and foremost, again, I was expecting the class skins and, like, you know, the single spec classes and stuff. So just seeing, hey, we got this new race and this single new class that only the new race can be, was slightly disappointing for me. It wasn't like a tragedy or anything.
Yeah,
It was
that's just
like,
one
oh man,
class.
I was hoping for that Tinker. I was hoping for that minstrel class.
Yeah, this is like an issue, I think, as well. Why do you add a race, like a whole race, not a variety of the race? Like, I give an example, like Demon Hunter. Sure, Demon Hunter can just be Demon Hunter, but you have at least two races to pick. You have like Blood Elf and you have freaking Night Elf, right? And Demon Hunter is a class that's tied to a race. But to have a race tied to a class, I think that is even more restricting, in my opinion. Because it doesn't matter if a class has just one race. But to have a whole race just have one class, like, that's weird. That means you can only play the class on a certain race, and you can only play the race on a certain class. That is so restricting. Like, they need to give them freaking options to be other classes. I think a Dracthyr warrior would look OP. Like, imagine you're being a male Dracthyr, and you're like this tall dragon thingy with like two giant swords or axes running around as a fury warrior. I think this would be so cool. Like, they should be able to be at least warriors and maybe like hunter or rogue or something. If they had at least like 3 classes or 4 to pick, that would already be pretty okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought that would have been cool. But we have this new playable race called the Dracthyr. And every single customization of these guys that Blizzard has shown so far, these guys look like they belong at a My Chemical Romance concert. All right, you know it, and I know it, and no one's saying it, so I'm gonna say it. All right, these guys look like they belong at some weird ass like punk rock concert or some shit. But damn it,
So people already
they're
hating on
dragons,
this.
all right, and they can breathe fire and shit and do time things and grow
That's
big
cool.
ass like green flowers to heal people, and that's cool. You know what else is cool though for me? I'm an old school Warcraft lore nerd, and I love that this new race and this new class is just rooted in that OG World of Warcraft lore. You had Deathwing; he was trying to create this hybrid dragon.
And we learn more about
well,
Deathwing,
not
I've
class,
heard,
but this
there as well.
hybrid dragon race thing, and he succeeded in doing it, and that is what we are playing as. So it's like you got that old Warcraft lore kind of coming back there with Deathwing and all this stuff that happened so long ago that honestly I didn't think Blizzard was going to explore it anymore. So seeing them actually exploring this is pretty cool, and I'm excited to see what the starting zone is like, explaining, you know, like, how were you born and where did you come from and what's your goal, what's your purpose. I think it's awesome. Personally, for me, I don't see myself playing this class or this race very much, just because like, I am the personality, right? Like, you might like the idea of playing a dragon, but you see, I just want to kill a dragon, all right? Like, I am a direct descendant of Beowulf, as you all know, so I just want to kill dragons. Like, that's what I'm all about. Dragon flying, where you get your own customizable dragon, and hopefully you can name your dragon. And if they do allow us to name our dragon, which of course I would assume they're going to allow us to do that, every dragon is going to be named Toothless. I'm calling it right now. It's going to happen. You know it's gonna happen. It's gonna.
Why is that
gonna
name?
be called Toothless? All right. In dragon flying, essentially what this system is you learn how to fly a dragon. Now I do have to say one thing. This don't make no freaking sense. All right, let's just get it out of the way. This don't make no sense. I've been flying around on dragons for years in this game.
Me too.
But apparently my character got
Drake,
hit in the head with a rock or something, and he forgot how to fly a dragon. So apparently, when you get to the Dragon Isles, you need to, like, teach your dragon how to flap its wings properly, how to soar, how to dive, how to barrel roll, and all this stuff. Now, what is the point of all of this system? Like what are you supposed to do with it?
I have one question. So, there's something I like we didn't even get revealed yet, right? Like, those kind of moves you can do, like, while flying and stuff, right? Like, how you can, like, spin and stuff. Can you do this on every single dragon mount or just this one specific mount? Like, what about the Timeless Proto Drake, or what about like the Black Drake, for example? Like, can you also do that on like regular dragon mounts, or is it just on this specific one? Because I think it would be a bit disappointing if it's really on just that one mount. I think they should add this to all flying mounts. That would be way better. Or at least all flying dragon mounts. Because there are so many super rare mounts, like the Time Lost Proto Drake, the Phosphorant Stone Drake, I hope I said that name correct, and there are those that take like days or weeks to grind. And if they don't get this kind of update and just this one drink, I think, yeah, it sucks. I think that this should be for every single one. Maybe they should do like a whole rework of all the flying mounts animations and stuff. Or if you have like let's say you have a love rocket that you got from the event or something, like what it would be so cool if you could like spin around on the love rocket or something, right? Like it would be interesting if they give this kind of option to multiple flying mounts.
You need to like
those
teach your
moves.
dragon how to flap its wings properly, how to soar, how to dive, how to barrel roll, and all this stuff. Now, what is the point of all of this system? Like what are you supposed to do with this system once your dragon is fully trained and he can do like spins and stuff? I haven't got a clue. It just seems like they're making
faster?
flying mounts more interesting, or just flying with your dragon more interesting.
It's definitely more fun.
I don't think you're going to be doing barrel rolls on your gyrocopter or your big red rocket or anything.
Shit, yeah.
You know, the system reminds me a lot, though, of Mists of Pandaria with the daily quests where you had to raise your dragon. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to add some crazy end game progression to it, but having a dragon that you can customize and teach to fly and feel like that guy from Avatar or whatever, I don't remember his name, is neat. Updated talent trees. Like, I'm just going to establish something real fast. I've never personally met someone that likes the Mists of Pandaria talent system that was brought to the game over the original talent system.
Yes.
People that actually, played extensively.
Like the original talent system was really good because you had multiple builds on our class spec. Like one thing that actually disappointed me when they actually got rid of that was you had fewer customization options. Like you could do something like, for example, if you were on the Warlock, you had like different kind of builds per spec. Like you could have 2 or 3 builds for a destruction spec. You could have 2 or 3 builds for a demonology spec. Like you had multiple directions within a freaking class spec. So you had like more options and more freedom of how you want to build your character. Do you want to pick this talent? Do you want one maybe that has more life drain or something? Like there were like so many cool options. And Hunters also had some interesting talents. So yeah, I hope they bring it somehow back. Like, that would be so nice. I actually miss the talent system.
With both. They tend to always say they prefer the classic talents. And it's not surprising because it allows you to really customize your character. You can make these weird hybrid builds and stuff. Blizzard talked about that in the announcement.
Good options
and it really allowed you just to customize your character however you wanted. Now, Blizzard removed this back in Mists of Pandaria, and they say, like, yeah, we wanted to do some BS, like, make your character... Like, I don't even remember what their reasoning was for it.
They restricted the players.
But the real reason why they removed it is I can only imagine how difficult and challenging it must have been to balance all of those talent trees back in the day when it came to raiding and PvP and all that stuff. I can only imagine. And so...
But now it's like way easier. There are like more tools and stuff, and like even like the non-deaths, like normal players are already doing like DPS sims and stuff. And yeah, by the way, what Blizzard needs to do is they need to freaking go and blood mullet and finally fix some of the underperforming races. Like we have in WoW allied races that underperform like the base race. Like I give an example. Like Orc is much better on nearly any freaking class available to them than Mecha Orc. But Mecha Orc takes you multiple days to unlock. Or Dark Iron Dwarf. There are like scenarios where the regular Dwarf is way better in many cases than the Dark Iron Dwarf. Like what's the point of giving us races that underperform and you have to actually grind them? Like that is so weird, right? Like how do you guys feel about the allied race? Let me know in the comment section. Don't you find it like a bit stupid and ridiculous that for like let's say the Vulpera or the Dark Iron Dwarves, the Mecha Orcs, the Lightforged Draenei, you have to do like this and this quest line and it's underperforming. Same with High Mountain Tauren. I give an example. High Mountain Tauren Druid versus Tauren Druid. If you check the DPS sims, the regular Tauren Druid outperforms on let's say Balanced Druid for example, the high mountain torrent druid. Why is that? That makes no sense because it takes longer to unlock the high mountain than to have the torrent from the start. Like, this is so weird. They need to fix some race. They need to improve something and buff it by 1 or 2% or something so it gets like closer. Like, even if it doesn't like get stronger or identical, it should be like a smaller gap. Like, it should be on sim only 1 or 2 ranks below at most allied race to the base race, because it's otherwise so weird.
So they took the talent system and they heavily simplified it. Well, people for years have been saying they really would like the old talent system back. And I mean, obviously Classic WoW has been a huge success for Blizzard. We'll talk about that in another video, by the way, the classic Wrath of the Lich King stuff. So essentially Blizzard is bringing back the classic WoW talent trees in a way, but they're making them even more complex because now you have a class talent tree, like a druid, and then you also have a spec talent tree. So you can customize your default druid, and then you have your specs over here, and you can spec out your feral druid.
I hope it's easy to respec, like change
however
them.
you want. So it's like they brought back the OG talent trees and they made them more complicated. So I do worry about the balancing and the workload that Blizzard is about to take on with this. I mean, this system looks amazing. Like, I'm like, dude, this is awesome. But man, I mean, Blizzard, it almost looks like you guys are shooting yourselves in the foot with this. But I guess time will tell. I mean, we'll see. But this looks, I mean, it looks great. The updated talents, at least I think so. Updated professions.
I think it's really good.
In my opinion, this is the thing that excites me the most about this expansion. I have made so many videos talking about updating professions. And I'm not going to go into my whole rant, but I hate how irrelevant professions are, especially if you're a low-level character in this game right now. I've talked before about, hey, why don't you make it so that low-level players can create sets of gear, like right at level 10 or something?
I missed this so much. Like look at this, guys. Like the era where so many people were playing WoW. Like, I remember when World of Warcraft was released and I was still in freaking school. Like, so many of my classmates and people at school, my neighbors, like, they all got freaking World of Warcraft. And people, you know what people did and like my classmates did? We were all waiting for freaking school to be over back in the day and then come home and we would already make appointments. You know what? 1 or 2 hours after school, we're gonna meet and we're gonna level up in, let's say, Elwyn Forest or something like that, right? And I had like so many friends that were like playing on gnomes. They always want to be like gnome warlock, gnome mage and stuff. I had a few paladin friends and stuff. It was like really interesting. I remember we were like meeting up in Elwyn Forest. We went to like Goldshire to level and stuff, and it's like those good memories. Like, I remember. Those were the days, man. And like there were like so many players online. Like, I'm not saying like World of Warcraft is like completely dead or like nobody's playing it anymore. Like, there's still a large player base, but it's nothing in comparison to when it started. Like, and everything was like so hyped about the game. Like, you would get home from work or school and you would be happy to actually play the game. And now it's kind of like that for a lot of people. They get home and when they are bored or they have nothing to do, they will play the game. Like, the goal is no longer to get home to play World of Warcraft, but the goal is like to get home and when you're bored, then you play World of Warcraft or something. And most of the times you will probably be bored, especially during... Okay, now it's like getting better with like the whole world situation with like the pandemic and stuff, but yeah, I like remember back in the day, like there was a true hype, and now it's just like if you have nothing else to do, you play it. I wonder if this expansion brings a bit of it back and like a lot of players are returning to the game. That would be so nice.
Players can create sets of gear, like right at level 10 or something, that like gives them like additional little powers or something that makes the leveling more fun and engaging. And if Blizzard, if you've got this big boner of like getting people to level cap as fast as possible, why not make it something like, oh, hey, you got 3 of the 5 pieces of the flimsy chainmail set. Okay, well, now you have 5% increased experience from like all sources or something. And this is like a set that like a level 10 guy could create. Potions, it's like, okay, at low level, you can drink a potion and it makes you run really fast or something to speed up the leveling process, right? Like, if that's your goal, to like get them through that as fast as possible, why not do something like that, right? Or maybe just make it like each piece of gear gives like 1% more increased XP. I don't know. But right now, the point is that crafted gear and professions at low level are completely useless. And so I have been talking about a profession overhaul for
I feel like in general, like the sad thing about professions in WoW is like stuff you get in dungeons will always be stronger than what you can craft. Like what I would love to see is that like from the best slot, like the best in slot gear, that some of it is actually something you craft and it's like OP. Even if it's just like shoulders or a belt or something. But I feel like each crafting should give you at least 1 or 2 items that are like the best in slot for the expansion. Like I get it if they don't want like people to craft like everything and not farm anything in dungeon. But there should be something that is superior in crafting. Be it jewelry, be it like 1 or 2 armor pieces. And you have to have someone that crafts them. Or you must craft them yourself and you can't get it from dungeons. Like I think there should be a balance between dungeon drops and crafted gear. If that makes any sense, yeah? Like, I don't get this with the crafting. Like you craft something, let's say item level 100, 110. It's even enchanted and stuff. And then suddenly you see, oh shit, but now we're in dungeons and there's like 200 plus item level thingies that are like way stronger and like it's weird with the crafting. It's only for making gold these days and not for actually any use when it comes to like the power level of characters, unfortunately.
Useless. And so I have been talking about a profession overhaul for forever on this channel, and they're finally bringing us a profession overhaul. Now I can't speak for a new player coming into this game because they didn't really talk about the low-level profession.
Microsoft starts fixing it already.
But the stuff that they did talk about, like this whole system of putting out like requests for gear and like being able to like, you know, pay people commissions and stuff and whatnot, even making them guild specific, all this stuff they talked about
makes crafting
with profession changes. I think it looks incredible. I love crafting in MMORPGs. It's my favorite part of an MMORPG aside from leveling. Yes, I'm an altaholic. It's what I do.
Like what I love about crafting is it's so relaxing. There's no pressure. Like you can go farming somewhere in like zones you like, and you can freaking look for some leather or something if you're like a leather worker, right? And hunt down some animals. And in the background you can play some cool music you like, and you can grind for like a couple of hours for materials. And it's just so relaxing. It's no pressure. If you're doing like M+ or like some raid, it can be sometimes a bit of pressure or PvP. And if you have like those days you feel a bit lazy, you just want to do something relaxing, then yeah, now you have crafting. I think it's very casual, player friendly as well.
And so seeing them giving love to professions after all these years, like all this stuff, I highly encourage you to look into it. Maybe I'll make a deep dive video at some point, but the profession changes that they are bringing with this expansion look incredible. Updated UI. There's really nothing to say about the updated UI. I wasn't even going to include this in the video.
Yeah, I would
every
use
single
mods anyway.
MMO in the world has like customizable UI at this point. So
yeah,
Blizzard's
just use add-ons.
in,
I have
like,
the
okay,
add-on
cool,
for
you
that.
caught up with everybody else. Congratulations. In conclusion, I admit I was expecting a bit more out of this expansion just because of the leaks and stuff. But overall, the expansion seems harmless. I think in my big highlights video on the other channel, when I was watching this live on Twitch, I said something to the effect of, this expansion really doesn't have that gut punch to it. It doesn't have that like, wow, like factor. Like, this is amazing. This is so cool. I'm so excited to play this. At least not for me. I mean, you guys might be like, dude, I could play as a Dracthyr, and you might be losing your minds over that. But the thing is that what this expansion does have, it has a Azeroth-focused expansion. It's rooted in OG Warcraft lore with the Dragonflights and stuff.
Yeah, like Cataclysm.
Dragon flying and stuff, the profession updates. It seems like what they're doing is they're really playing it safe with this expansion and focusing on what works rather than what does not work. And I kind of like that. I like that they're not introducing some crazy new system that's going to completely break the game. And I mean, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure I said the exact same thing for Shadowlands, and Shadowlands ended up being ridiculous, to say the least. I'm hoping for better storytelling with this expansion. I'm hoping to see Galakron potentially, that big, you know, dragon man. I think that was his name, Galakron. I'm hoping to learn more about the dragons. Honestly, I'm hoping just to see the dragons, or I'm excited just to see the dragons being relevant again. Because in classic WoW and old school World of Warcraft, the dragons were like these demigods that were like guardians of the world, and they've just...
Yeah, the dragons are very, very important as well for Ezra. They did like some cool stuff there as well, right? And one thing would be so cool now that I think about it. Like, we had a World of Warcraft movie, and this one was actually not too bad. And it would be nice to actually see another World of Warcraft movie come out in the future. And maybe this one can be about the dragons. Like, that would be epic. Like, a movie about, like, the dragons and stuff. I would go so to the movie theater for that.
just been irrelevant since Cataclysm. It's like, oh yeah, thanks, you helped us beat Deathwing, so all right, you guys can go away now. Now we're the Guardians of Azeroth. Like, forget you guys. And so I'm excited to see them being relevant again. Those are my quick thoughts, my first impressions on the expansion. I'm recording this video the same day that they did the announcement, so forgive the video if it's a little quick and dirty. Thank you all for watching, though. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think. Are you excited for it? Are you done? Are you just going to play Final Fantasy, Star Wars: The Old Republic? What are your thoughts? And I will see you all with my next project. That's right. I love you. Oh, Vishnu Allah, weary traveler.
Vishnu Allah, you traveler. Let me like that video. That was like very funny. And yeah, like, I'm actually positive like that Dragonflight will definitely improve World of Warcraft, and it's finally a good expansion. Like, there are some people already like hating on it. Like, I see what people post on Reddit about it sometimes, and Twitter and stuff. Like, there are like a lot of people that are actually disappointed, what surprises me, because I think this is actually a good expansion. And I think the Dracthyr, yeah, like, one thing sucks about them, just one class. I don't get why they do that. Like, why not at least some base classes, like Warrior, Hunter, Rogue or something like that, right? Maybe give them at least Mage as well. It's so weird. Like, we get finally a new race and it's so restricted. But one thing I believe, that maybe in a future expansion or patch, they maybe give them at least a few more classes to pick. Because otherwise it would be a waste. Because making a class only for 1 or 2 races, like with the Demon Hunter, is one thing. But make a whole race only for 1 class available and a class only for 1 race, I think that's super weird. Plus, I think it would be so cool if you could play, let's say, an Evoker on a human Evoker, or Orc or Troll Evoker. But yeah, some skills are literally like some sort of Dragon Breath or something, so maybe that's why they can't do it for other races. But yeah, I think Dragonflight would be great, and I think that Microsoft also played part in it. Like, I'm wondering what actually caused like the devs to make such a big turn and like bring back the old talent system, rework of crafting. Like, why is so much good stuff coming at once and all of a sudden now? I'm actually starting to believe that Microsoft also has something to do with it. Like, there's no doubt there must be like some power behind all of this, like some sort of influence. I don't think it's the freaking players' feedback, because there was player feedback for years on the forums and nothing has changed. Like, literally, it had no impact. And now everything is changing for the positive in WoW. And what's the reason behind it? If it's not Microsoft, then what is it? Like, you get what I mean, right? But yeah, what's your first impression of World of Warcraft Dragonflight? Are you guys excited for this expansion? I'm super excited. I have a very positive impression so far. I love the cinematic. I love what's coming to it, like with the new talent system, new crafting system, and the new race looks exciting. I would definitely level one up. And yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. I would also really appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one. And I wish everyone a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time.